demonstration class actually. So we are doing noodles or pasta. Who made pasta out of vegetables before? A few people. That's good. Okay. Well, maybe. So the part to make the pasta is very easy, but then you want to make the sauce. So we're making pasta and the sauce, and we have cucumbers, zucchini, and carrots, but you can use sweet potatoes or you can use sweet potatoes or what else? Red beets, I was thinking. And you don't necessarily have to eat it raw. You can also steam it after you spiralize it. So I'm using a spiralizer like this, but there are also different ones you can get. Yeah, there's so many different ones. Also, there are food processors that have the application to make noodles. So I have this one here, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So you take either a zucchini, and see, it doesn't really fit in the spiralizer, so you have to cut it in half. I usually leave a little bit of this here because then it always takes a little bit of your vegetable. So just put it in here. And there are also different attachments, like for vegan noodles, or it's like here, there's the attachment. So I like to use the smallest actually. The smaller the noodles, the finer and the better the texture I find. But there are different ways. So let's make the noodles out of zucchini. It's really so simple actually. Yeah, a little bit will stay. So that's why I don't cut the ends off, because you're going to cut them off anyway. Do you have these nice noodles? There's another way to make noodles. Hi, come in. With a potato peeler. Yeah. Sometimes the cucumbers have a really tough skin, so I don't really, you can eat the skin. Sometimes they're also oily, so I peel the cucumbers usually first. I don't know, why is the skin of the cucumber sometimes oily? Have you noticed that in the grocery stores? Especially the small cucumbers, right? I really don't like that. So even the organic ones. So I usually. So of course you can use your spiralizer for the cucumbers too, or you can just go further on with the potato peeler. You don't have a spiralizer right now, so you want to have noodles. You can just, oops, sorry. There you have your noodle. It's like nice linguine style noodles, I think they call them linguine. So here we have these kind of noodles. Find a way to make it faster. It's just a regular potato peeler that I have here. Yeah, if you get to the core, you can't peel it anymore. And it doesn't take so long. I with the potato peeler, of course, it takes a little longer. And if you find out how to do this quick quick and easy. Let's do the whole piece. So for one person, I would use 2 cucumbers, 2 of these small cucumbers, this size cucumbers. And how healthy is it to eat 2 cucumbers, right? Pretty healthy, I think.
Did you use those Japanese cucumbers that are thinner than these fat ones?
The small ones, it's probably harder to use it with a potato peeler, but you can definitely spiralize them. I'm gonna spiralize a cucumber right now too with a spiralizer. Okay, now we have our cucumber noodles. Okay, spiralize the cucumber here. Actually, that skin is not oily, so we might as well just do both, one without and one with skin. But it's tough. The skin here is a little bit tough, that's for sure. But we'll see how we like it. It's definitely possible.
That's called a spiralizer?
Yeah, vegetable spiralizer. If you send me an email, I can send you the link of my Amazon list where I bought all these. I bought it on Amazon. And there are different ones too. This actually I bought in Germany, but I found a similar one from Amazon. I actually like it and makes even thinner noodles, like angel hair noodles.
How much does that one cost?
That one, they range about like $20.
Oh.
So this one was with the peel. It's gonna be much chewier with the peel. This without peel. If you use the English cucumber, if you use the English cucumber, then the skin is not that tough. So. Okay. And then you have it without skin. Then of course we can use carrots. Carrots are usually, something is underneath. It's just a table. Carrots are usually very tough too. Oops. So you like it, but if you're not 100% raw like I am, then of course you can always steam it, and you also have noodles, softer noodles, or you can also marinate them a little bit in lemon juice to make them softer. But you can really spiralize any, not all vegetables of course, but any root vegetables or cucumbers, anything that fits in the spiralizer. Hi.
Oh.
Good, making noodles. So here you have the carrot noodles if you want to, zucchini noodles, yeah, that's pretty much it with noodles, so we don't, no, we want to have a sauce, right? That's the most important part.
Does the spiralizer just have like one size?
No, it comes with different attachments, like this attachment, there's a little mandolin here, and then this attachment, and they come with different sizes of attachments. This one has only 2, but I found one on Amazon. I might get it even. They have even more, and even for angel hair, so very, very fine. It's actually nice.
Do you prefer the hand one over like the electric ones?
I've never used the electric ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing you can also use is a mandolin. You have to be very careful with the mandolin. So you can also buy gloves.
It comes with that thing, and you always
Not
lose
always.
it.
No,
Not
you mean
always,
like
but
that little flat thing?
I would definitely recommend it. And you can also just use your zucchini. With a cucumber, probably not because they're very watery in the inside. But with a zucchini, you can make what we call very.
That's my favorite too.
The mandarin,
Yeah.
and it's so scary for the fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, you have your really thin lasagna noodles, so you make your lasagna with it. You can also use this and then cut it into noodles. Just have them all together and then you just cut it. Then you have these type of noodles. Does look like noodles. Oops. So you don't make lasagna, but technically you can instead of making these noodles and putting a sauce on top, you can just layer it with these lasagna sheets here. Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much it with the noodles. Pretty quick. I mean, you didn't even take 10 minutes, and if you buy a package of noodles, you put it in hot water. It takes 10 minutes, and I'm already done. And this is very easy to clean. You just rinse it with water. You should always rinse it right away with water, but I can't do it now, so I have the problem later. You know, when it's leaking.
Yeah,
It's so easy to rinse it right away, and you don't have any work really. It's less work than waiting till the noodles are done, 10 minutes in the hot water, then you rinse out the pot, then you have to wash out the pot. So that's so much easier. And for the sauce, so what we got here, just vegetables, right? I don't even have any seeds today. So you can make a tomato sauce, a red sauce, or a white sauce. And I was thinking last time I did the mashed mashed cauliflower. And I also showed people how to make noodles. So I had these leftover noodles and the leftover mashed potatoes, and I put them together, and they taste actually pretty good together. So it was kind of like a Alfredo sauce, and you can put spices however you want. So let's start with that maybe. So I have cauliflower here. There's some sauce here. And you know what? I'm gonna use this, or maybe not. I have this core here of I'm gonna eat it later. Usually sometimes I put it in sauces or dressings. When I make dressings, I just use this and put it in there to make it more liquid. Also the carrot we can use for sauce even. So you can use the blender, or I have also a chopper or food processor. But we start with a blender, and we start with a white sauce. Cut away a little bit of the parts here. Too good. Sorry. So I'm actually making 2 dishes at one time. So I have approximately half of a cauliflower, or even a third of a cauliflower, and then I use lemon juice. Lemon juice is always very important for cauliflower. It takes away the cabbagey taste. So I'm using a bit lemon.
Would limes work as well as
Yeah, because you have a little bit more of the lime flavor. Usually I don't put red bell pepper in the mashed no potatoes that I make. I usually make the mashed no potatoes only with cauliflower, lemon juice, celery, a little bit of celery. So I'm going to use a little bit of celery. two, maybe just one stop. And lemon juice and a little bit of turmeric.
A little bit of what?
Turmeric?
Ah,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
My own powder turmeric. You can use fresh turmeric too. So now I put the. But this time actually I want to use a yellow, red, not a yellow red pepper, yellow bell pepper. Because it gives a nice flavor too. And we want to make a noodle sauce anyway. We don't want to make the mashed, no potatoes. Just roughly chop it and put it in your blender. Should we use two? Maybe we start with half first. And then also add a little bit of turmeric. The turmeric is actually also only for the color. Doesn't go well though if you do that like that. So just a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
Really?
Just for the color.
Goes a long way.
Yeah. This time I just use it for the color. But we also have the yellow part of the bell pepper, so it also gives a little bit more yellowish, cheesy color. That's pretty much it. So just gonna blend it up. Does have a nice color and consistency. It has the consistency of mashed potatoes. Taste, I don't know. Okay. Probably doesn't have a lot of taste right now. The secret to that is herbs and spices. No salt, of course. Alright, this is our kind of Alfredo sauce. It doesn't have any seeds, but you can also make it creamier with adding some seeds, like hemp seeds or sunflower seeds, and then blend it all in. But I didn't right now. I have a little bit of thyme maybe and basil. Maybe will go well with it. I didn't use them today. I don't use any seeds today. But you could definitely make it more creamy because it's just cauliflower right now. Maybe it's too boring for you. Sometimes it is to me. And then I would use a little bit of sunflower seeds, soaked sunflower seeds, and or hemp seeds. You can add to make it more creamier. Just gonna use this today. I usually use this recipe for my mashed potatoes, and then I have a creamy sauce on top. But I'd rather have that separate creaminess of this.
That was basil you just put in?
Yeah, I just put basil in and a little bit of thyme. And then maybe some noodles here we can add. Oops. Add some noodles, and you have noodles with like a kind of Alfredo sauce. But of course, if you can use any spices, or if you use nutritional yeast, it will be more cheesy, of course. I don't use nutritional yeast. I like to keep it very, very simple, honestly. Still tasty. Yeah, those are my Alfredo noodles.
And you eat it raw like that?
Oh yeah, I eat it raw.
Yeah.
Or if you want to bake it, you can probably also bake it. I don't know what happens, but
Yeah.
maybe it's something good. But I do eat everything raw. Okay, let's go over, maybe make some more noodles to have it. Okay, so the tomato sauce, you can also use the blender, or you can use the chopper. I have here. It's like a little food processor thing. So it comes with the glass bowl and the knives here. It does the same thing like a food processor, just as it's a little bit smaller. So if you're just one person, or you want to have 2 persons, then you can use this. So for the tomato sauce, many people who do raw tomato sauce, they also use dried tomatoes, which is great, makes it thicker. But I don't have any dried tomatoes today. And instead of, also the dried tomatoes make it really red. Tomatoes don't make the sauce really red. But I use red bell pepper, so my tomato sauce actually has more red bell pepper than tomatoes. So I should call it red bell pepper sauce. So it makes it really nice and red, and it doesn't have too much water like tomatoes. So I first make a type of sauce in the chopper, a little bit more coarse. You can also add the carrot in there, why not? You can use the carrot. That was a big carrot. A few tomatoes, of course. So we can call it tomato sauce. Then celery is always good. It gives so much flavor. We don't use any salt, use celery in anything. And a little bit of my turmeric. Chili maybe? Maybe a dried chili. And then herbs are always good. But I'll start with that first and then add the herbs, because I don't want this to turn brown by chopping the herbs too much. I can also use the Vitamix for the red sauce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna use it also for, but I'm just gonna show you how there's different ways. You can use your food processor to make a sauce. Okay, I'll edit the vegetables that I wanna chop a little bit finer. It's still not very fine, and it's still some bigger chunks in there. That's why I use the chopper. It doesn't make it that fine. Sometimes you want to have you don't need any equipment, like you can just do the noodles and then chop very finely the vegetables too with your favorite spices and then mix it in. Maybe some taking here some parsley and basil. Maybe some of the scallions. And those scallions. And thyme is always good. Thyme goes always well with tomatoes, tomato sauce. Thyme or oregano. They're pretty similar.
So should you use fresh spices?
I love using fresh spices for sure.
Versus dried?
Mm-hmm. And usually I even dry my own spice herbs if I have them, and they taste much more different. I don't know, from the store, I don't know what they do. Maybe they heat them or while they're drying them. But of course you can use dry, but fresh herbs just have so much more flavor. Put these herbs in here. To enhance the flavor, you can also use a date or some raisins. I didn't put any here, but we're gonna do that for the other sauce. Okay, so we have our course tomato sauce. Smells good. Well, we actually can just leave it here. There's some few herbs that are not that well chopped. But it's pretty thick actually for not using dry tomatoes. I don't always have dry tomatoes, and I also don't buy dry tomatoes because they usually either they heat treat them or they put oil on them or salt. But making dry tomatoes is very easy. You can just dry them in the sun, or if you have a dehydrator, then you can make your own dried tomatoes. And they're very different than the ones from the store. They're not that tasty, you know. They're not that soft because the softer from the store, they heat treat them. If you make your own dried tomatoes, they're very tough to eat. So, but they're great for making your sauces and making your sauce thicker and more red, more flavorful. That's for sure. Okay, that's our other sauce. That's pretty, isn't it? And now I'm using the blender again to make a more creamy sauce. Although I don't have any seeds today, but I have a little bit of the cauliflower here, but it's fine, I think. So for the creamy sauce, red creamy sauce, I also use a red bell pepper. And of course you can also do a pesto with all this lettuce and some basil. I use all the basil. I used all the basil.
You
for this
did,
sauce.
yeah.
Well, but that's what happens at home, okay? You don't have any basil, you want a tomato sauce, maybe you can just make it without basil. Okay, red bell pepper for the color. We don't have any dry tomatoes.
What sauce is this?
This, I want to make a little bit more creamy sauce, so I actually use avocado. We can put it all in right away.
It's good already, avocado.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful avocado. Everything looks good already as it is. So if you are hungry and there's no vegan restaurant that is, or there are no vegan restaurants that are oil-free, only fried food, there are always grocery stores. You can always get an avocado. You can always get a cucumber or lettuce. Just buy it and eat it. It's very simple.
What I do every day.
Huh?
It's what I do every day.
Oh, really? Great. I mean, also you don't have to prepare it necessarily.
You're going to be really hungry by the time you do all this.
Well, I'm making here 3 different kinds of sauces in 1 hour. Not even 1 hour. It's not too bad. And it's homemade noodles. It's noodles made from scratch. You make your own noodles, so you don't buy anything from the package. Okay. So we have the red bell peppers and avocado. Celery always is good, and a few tomatoes, so we can call it tomato sauce. And then I put the thyme in here right away. The thyme doesn't discolor your sauce like whole leaves like basil does. Because usually you want to put your herbs at last, after you have the whole sauce creamy. Because if you put the basil and the parsley in right away, you have a brown sauce. If you blend it all in, you want to have the herbs a little bit more chopped. But if you want to have a brown sauce, then of course you can blend everything once. And for this sauce, I'm gonna use a little bit of sweetness. I'm using half of a medjool date. Oh, that I forgot here. We also have these little zucchini strips. Those are also noodles already. Those are little tiny noodles. We have in Germany. We have noodles like that, Spätzle. Kind of looks like that. If you put it with a sauce, it will definitely look like noodles. Yes, let's do it. Look like noodles now. It's all about the sauce. Okay, anything else here? We don't have any basil, but that's okay. Okay. Or maybe a little bit of chili too. Yes.
These These are samples, right?
Uh-huh.
Where's Chris?
Yeah, you can try it too.
Where's Chris? Chris, come
Yes.
take
Okay, let's the more creamy tomato sauce. Yeah, the avocado makes it creamy. You can make it creamy with hemp seeds, soaked sunflower seeds, but this is without seeds today.
macadamia nuts.
Oh yeah, I made it with macadamia nuts too one time. Also chopped, you can also chop it in as well. You have any?
Do you have a trick for cracking open a macadamia nut?
Oh, you have them whole?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them whole. Yeah.
A hammer.
No, they go everywhere. It just goes
I
into
know.
pieces.
I know. You gotta get an old school nutcracker, man.
Yeah, where do you get one of those?
Amazon has everything.
Amazon, yeah, of course,
Okay.
everything.
Sorry, what did you add after the time?
After the time, one date I think.
The date?
Half a date actually. Let's put the noodles in here.
That sauce looks good. That one's the winner, I think, so far.
Yeah.
Of course, you can put basil or maybe scallions, maybe a little bit of parsley, but I'm just gonna keep it like that. You can also mix the sauces if you want to have a little bit basil, then put a little bit in this. They're just so very different ways. Where's my invisible knife? It's very invisible. Sauce. And the avocado also thickens it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Anything else? You can also make a green pesto if you have your. If you don't like greens, or you don't have time to eat that many greens, like I do, I eat this. I mean, that's probably 2 times that amount. That seems. So you can just chop the greens and make a kind of like a pesto. Also mix it with basil. Too bad I put all the basil in there. Parsley is good for pesto. And parsley is really the healthiest herb. Parsley has it's really an iron bomb. It has so much iron. A lot of iron and vitamin C, vitamin K. I like the chewy parts though.
Does True North have its own organic garden?
They do have some gardens, but it doesn't produce that much in all year, so we buy a lot from farmers or from stores or like from different sources. A little bit of greens. you can use. I'm gonna use all the parsley. I easily eat half a bunch of parsley per day. I eat it like lettuce. And you can also use celery in there. Celery is really neutral. I mean, it just gives a lot of flavor, but it doesn't have specific colors. You can use it for tomato sauces or the mashed snow potatoes that you use just a little bit. Yeah, of course, we like celery for lots of minerals and calcium. Okay, I just made a green pesto made of lettuce, pretty much, and herbs. Of course, it doesn't taste very good by itself, probably. But if you, oh, I actually forgot the lemon juice. I think it needs lemon juice here. Definitely needs some lemon juice. But it's pretty much a good way, instead of steaming the greens, to make them more or faster edible. You can just chop them if you want to keep them raw, and put also any spices you want on them. Definitely need some lemon juice.
Sorry, if you want to make that pretty, do you add?
Oh yeah, you could add hemp seeds. I would definitely chop in hemp seeds or some seeds. Avocado you can also do. Okay, so that's our pesto. I have to try that before I give it to you. And then with the lasagna, you can even make it layer. Just use the pesto, then the lasagna noodles here, and the pesto, the tomato sauce. Even this on top, maybe. Yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and after your taste, and it's gonna turn out pretty well if you leave the ingredients as natural as they are, because the ingredients already taste good. If you buy high quality foods, they will already taste good. If it doesn't taste good, maybe I wouldn't even use it for a recipe. Yeah, so nothing can go wrong. Sometimes you expect something and it doesn't turn out like you expected, but then you just have something new. You don't call it mashed potatoes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you have different sauces, different noodles. If you want to try anything, you can grab a bowl and get some samples if you want to. And if you have any questions, let me know. Sure.
So when I use thyme, it seems like it just takes me forever because I'm pulling off every little leaf.
Is the thyme here? Yeah.
With the smaller branches, it's okay with those?
Yeah, the smaller branches you can definitely eat. So I usually take a branch and then I'll pull it like this. And if there's a stem here still, it means it's soft enough that I can use it. So you can also try eating it. If it's not that chewy, it's That's gonna be okay. So I just do it very quick. If I have a few stems in there, it means they're soft enough. Especially if you blend it in, it will be fine. Okay, thank you for
Thank you.
watching.
Thank
If you
you.
want to have samples,